Well, good afternoon, everybody. How's it going? Just noticed that my camera is falling over. How's everybody doing today? We're back to normal on the normal production schedule with our podcast on Tuesdays, news on Wednesday, and our live stream on Thursday. We had a pretty fun week in Colorado, and it was pretty killer. So we'll talk a little bit about that, and we'll talk about some of our plans that we've got coming up that don't include some pretty major things. So yeah, let's get right into it. Welcome to the Just Gonna Say It podcast on Tuesday. Thanks everybody for cruising by. Does this not work? Huh. Where is it? Oh, look at there. We goofed it up. Hang on. Gotta fix my thing. Because we've been gone and not doing stuff properly. How's everybody doing? So, yeah, I want to talk a little bit about a couple of things. First of all, for those of you that are new to the channel, we do this every Tuesday. We have a live stream, or we have news on Wednesday, guitar gear news on Wednesday. We have a live stream Q&A thing on Thursday, and pretty much a video about guitar stuff the other days of the week. We're pretty much making a video every day of the week right now. It's crazy because we have a lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of cool new gear to review. I'm kind of behind on things because of all the travel that we've been doing, but this thing that we did at Texas Toast last week was absolutely awesome. It was a really cool thing. Should say hello to everybody in the comments. Thanks everybody for coming and watching this live. And then of course it'll be available on all your podcast platforms very soon. So somebody already asked me, so why are you not going to NAMM? Well, let's talk about it. The reason I'm not going to NAMM is because nobody else is going. And it's very, it's weird. You know, the NAMM show, I used to love going. I'd go pretty much every year. And I kind of like trade shows. I'm going to the Big Knife Show in Atlanta in June. You know, you always go to the hot tub show in your local town or whatever. I like going to that stuff. I think it's neat. It's fun to watch people. It's fun to see what's going on. I like to go to the RV shows, you know, because we have a motorhome, so I like doing that stuff. I like going to that stuff. In fact, I really like it. I think it's cool to have all of the things in one place. If you can spend a weekend kind of learning all the new things about a particular industry, it doesn't matter what it is. I actually really enjoy doing it. I don't enjoy exhibiting at a trade show. That's about the most exhausting, ridiculous thing that a human being can ever do, is exhibit at a trade show. It's crazy. But I would say that trade shows are actually really useful if all of the resources that you intend to avail yourself of are there. And the problem is that a lot of the major brands are not going. They're not going anymore. Which is interesting because I think it's because the way we do business has changed. You know what I mean? I've never had to put, well, I guess, okay, I did one NAMM show with my pickups and stuff in like 2015 or something. And it was the biggest waste of money. It cost me like 25 grand. Didn't make any money. Maybe it was about 20 grand. Didn't make any money from it. And it's much more effective for me to sit here with you for an hour every Tuesday and for a couple hours on Thursday and to make videos on YouTube and stuff than it is to spend. And that's not cheap. If I were to amortize out the price of doing that, the time, the equipment, all that for the year, it would probably be cheaper to go to NAMM actually. When you really think about the amount of hours that we put into creating content, buying the cameras, all that stuff. Because I don't know if you know this or not, but YouTube doesn't pay you enough money you can make a living. So it is an expense to create all this content. However, I think it's more effective than spending 20 grand to go to NAMM. And I think there's a lot of brands that are starting to realize that, and they can leverage Instagram influencers. They can leverage artists differently. For example, an endorsement deal used to be like Slash, for example, right? And everybody knows that Slash plays Les Paul, and everybody knows that Slash plays a Marshall, and everybody knows about his Seymour Duncan pickups, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Because he's huge, right? But the more effective folks that share stuff are people like, honestly, probably people with YouTube channels and Instagram followings really, really even smaller than the one I have, because they're more real. And when they tell their friends, hey, you should try this thing, their friends actually try this thing. And it's not separated between like a regular human being and Slash, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of brands are really getting to understand that works a lot better. And so why would they put all of their budget and money into going to one trade show that's honestly a pain to do? Marketing has changed. Really, it's very interesting to me that the big guys, Fender, Gibson, I think Andy Mooney from Fender came out very openly about a week ago and said he's not going to do it, and he doesn't know when he's going to do it again. So, NAMM seems better suited for the smaller builders looking to get their name out there. No, not really. Because the smaller builders can't afford big booths, which means they can't afford the premium spaces, which means they get put in the basement with the little white sign. And I went to NAMM last year and the year before, and the smaller builders that were there were just not really that good. There was some neat stuff, don't get me wrong. But again, if you're going to spend that money on development of your product to make it actually good, not on a trade show to make 5 guitars that are good, if that makes sense. I just don't think it's a good way to spend money. If you are a small guitar brand or a small pickup builder, I don't think you should spend your money on it. I think you should spend your money on content marketing. 100% content marketing. It's just a better way to go. TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. It's just a better way to go, because NAMM is basically a dealer show. And I don't want dealers. I turn down dealers weekly. When somebody emails me and says, hey, we would like to carry your product in our store, I tell them no. Because it becomes an absolute pain. Now, there's a few dealers around the country that I would really enjoy having. I would really enjoy it. But if they, like if I had my stuff in Casino Guitars, or if I had my stuff in Chicago Music Exchange or something, that would be really cool. But even then, I don't like it because you don't have control. It's really hard to control, unless you're a big company, how your products are merchandised, how they are promoted. And you really have to have a good relationship with that dealer. And so for some of these small builders, and then here's the other thing that happens with a bunch of these small builders. Let's say you do get picked up by, what's a small guitar chain? Like, Sam Ash is pretty big, but they're the smallest. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Let's say you get picked up by a brand who has 5 stores or 2 stores, and they start selling one of your guitars every week, and you only made 10 guitars last year. you can't keep up, and you don't have the infrastructure in your business to keep up with that stuff. And, a lot of these cottage industry, like myself, pickup builders, I know what we can make a month. I know how many we can make, and I don't make more than that. And when I'm asked to make more than that, like right now, we're really busy. I don't like it. I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm very grateful for it. But, I had a conversation with somebody at Sweetwater one time, like, you don't want to be at Sweetwater. They told me that. And I'm like, yeah, I know, because there's no way that I would ever be able to keep up, and then it would make your brand look bad. I figure if my production time goes out to like 4 weeks, which is what it's at right now, that hurts me. I want it to be at 2 weeks. And it's very, very difficult when it gets beyond 4 weeks. Well, if 2 dealers picked me up next week, I would be out to 6 or 8 weeks. There's no way around it. Everyone would suffer. My business would suffer because I wouldn't be able to scale to it. And so a lot of these smaller dealers, they don't want to do that. And then to give away 40% of your bottom line to be in a dealer. So there's really no reason for small builders to be in dealers when the direct model is so effective. And you're going to say, well, how do you quote unquote get your name out there? Which is, to me, I hate that saying. Mostly because I get people in my email with 200 followers on Instagram telling me that they're going to get my name out there. I hate that phrase. The thing is that what you need to do to get your name out there is to find some influencers and invest in some press. Basically, find somebody to show your product to the world, and organically grow it. I mean, organic growth is the best growth because it slowly scales over time and it continues to grow. NAMM, if you're a small dealer, you're going to do one of two things. Everybody's going to walk by you and not see you at all, or you're going to blow up into something that you did not intend to be, and it's going to hurt your business. And I know that doesn't happen for everybody, but I see the most people that I talk to, because A, they don't effectively fully exploit all the things that the NAMM show gives you, or B, they're not experienced with that kind of thing and scaling their business, that NAMM is a waste of money. And everybody says, I went and NAMM was a waste of money. Either you did it wrong, which, okay, still waste of money, or your product's not good enough, or you couldn't scale to whatever your needs were. So I think that it's better. I just think it's better. I love going there and walking around and seeing stuff. But if none of the cool people are going to be there, then what's the point in going? If Gibson's not going to be there, Fender's not going to be there, PRS isn't going to be there. I was going through the list this morning. Who else? I mean, Martin and Taylor are going to be there, but that doesn't help my channel very much. Ibanez is going to be there, I guess. But why would I fly across the country to see what I could see on the internet in 10 minutes? And we could just do a live stream and talk about all the stuff and hang out and have a conversation about it, instead of me like spending $3,000 on hotel rooms and food and plane tickets and then get the flu, because that happens too. I got sick the last time I went to NAMM. I mean, so yeah, it's an interesting thing to think about, but I think that the world has changed. I love it. I love going to trade shows. I love participating in them, but I think the world has changed and we just don't need them in the same way that we used to. It's just not the same thing. To be honest with you, the last time we went to NAMM in California, the majority of the companies there were a bunch of Chinese. Well, they were American companies, but I swear I walked by a dozen small builders that were just rebranded the same exact Chinese guitar with somebody else's name on the headstock. We walked by a bunch of them, and I actually turned to Leslie and I'm like, didn't I just see this guitar over there with another name on it? It was a different color and it was a different whatever, and maybe it had different wind of pickups in it, but it was the same junk. It was all the same stuff. And then there was like the custom spot where all the like super custom guitars are that are really limited run stuff, which is really cool, but it's the wrong show for that. They have other shows for that kind of stuff. So yeah, I just think it's evolved into something else. And of course, all of the music production. Now, if you're not a guitar player, music production, drums, DJing, of course, electronic stuff, that's huge too. Which is, I think it's actually bigger than the guitar section now because of that. So it's an interesting thing. I think selling direct is the number one way to go. That's why we do it. And I would encourage any small builder or any small business, actually, I don't care if you sell pencils or bottle openers, it doesn't matter to me. Sell direct on the internet. Find a way to use social media to market your product. Have a good, effective content solution, like a content program, and skip the trade show. That's what I would do. It's just a reallocation of budget, but it's still better. And you're in more control of it. And you're in more control of how you scale. And you're in more control. And it's a more organic, slower growth that works a lot better. The way you collaborate with Texas Toast is probably way better for business than anything NAMM can do for you at this point. Yeah. So honestly, collaboration is, if I go to NAMM, it's to talk to people about future collaboration stuff. I don't look for anything. Honestly, I don't look for anything for the Dylan Talks Tone stuff, for the pickup stuff. When I go to NAMM, it's all about the YouTube channel and it's about future collaborations. When I go to NAMM, I never promote pickups when I go to a trade show. I don't sell my product. I figure the content sells the product, so I'm going to make better content. Because the products are good. I'm 100% confident in my pickups, but if the content's better, then we sell more. And so that's where that is where I personally put all of my work and time that is not spent winding bajillions of P90s. Thank you, Phil McKnight. If you have guitar questions, chime them in here. And also we will take a super chat if you give us that, and we will drop what we're doing and address those questions as well. Let's see. It's just the fact that the industry is collapsing like everything else. Why would it have been important to keep the show going? Is that it's not only about business, but love. So I don't think so. People keep saying that, and it's totally not true. Guitar sales, the number of guitar players is growing. Excuse me, is growing. It's not collapsing. The business is not collapsing. Excuse me. The business is not collapsing. Why the heck do I have a frog in my throat? Man, that was weird. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with the guitar industry. Nothing at all. Something that guitar players need to stop doing. This is going to be full on in my just going to say it section of this show. Do not look at your own personal circumstances. Don't do this with anything in life. Do not look at your own personal circumstances and assume that's what the rest of the world is thinking or doing. Because they're not. If you can't afford a guitar, or if you don't want to spend the money on a guitar, or if you don't like a guitar, or if you don't think that rock music is alive anymore, or if you don't like EDM music and you don't think it should exist, or if you don't think battery powered cars are going to ever succeed, or if you don't think, whatever opinion you have, do not think that anybody else agrees with you. or do not assume that everybody else agrees with you. And that's the way the world is, because it is not. The world is a big place. There are hundreds of guitars being built every day in all of the major factories. There are literally thousands of guitars being made every month, tens of thousands. I think we went over the raw numbers in a Just Gonna Say It podcast a couple of months ago. So for people to assume that this stuff is dying, it's not. My dad always used to say that there's plenty of money in the world. There's money everywhere. You just have to go get some. It's not that hard. And if you think it's hard, rethink of how to get some. Just figure out how to get some more. And I know that is a simplification of a very complex thing, and a very big social issue, but how you view all that and the positivity that you bring to the world, especially surrounding music, starts right here. Starts right here in your own head. And so if you think that everything is a failure, it's probably because you are a failure. But you can change it by just being like, you know what? I'm not going to fail. I'm going to do it. I am going to be a better guitar player. I'm going to save up for a new guitar. I'm going to aspire to be better at what I do, and I'm going to share more with the world. It's a thing called mirroring. It's a psychological, I don't know all the stuff. Leslie tells me about this stuff, but the mirroring thing, when you see something in somebody else that is actually a problem that you have, and if you fix the problem in yourself, you don't see it in other people anymore. It's kind of one of those things. Not to get off on a tangent, but I mean, this is the kind of stuff that literally makes me want to quit YouTube sometimes. And I literally had to rethink my entire, I'm not quitting. I promise I'm not quitting. But a few weeks ago, I was really close to just being like, you know what? I hate this. And I had to change my entire attitude about how I looked at everything. And people are way too negative about this stuff. Things are awesome. Life is awesome. We live in a really cool time. Guitar gear is better than it's ever been. Amps are cooler than they've ever been. Digital products are way better than they've ever been and continue to get better. Guitar quality is better than it's ever been, despite the idiots on the internet who think that's not true because they bought a guitar 10 years ago or 5 years ago, or they heard about it in a Facebook group somewhere. Like, yeah, I saw a picture of a Gibson. That means they all suck. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. That might not even have been a new guitar. Do you know every time I call somebody out on guitar quality control stuff, it's never accurate? I've yet to find an actual, like, yeah, this is a brand new guitar. What year is it? A 2017. That's not brand new, dude. I mean, I just got 2 new Fenders. They're fantastic. 6 months ago, they sucked. So things can be turned around super quickly. So again, the picture that you have of the world, if you don't like it, doesn't mean that's what the world actually looks like. I know that that's really out of but it's really true. Yeah, I mean, I think it's really important to think about all that. Let's see. Is there any questions? Do we have any guitar questions in here? Let me scroll back. Scroll back and see if we have any questions. For those of you that are actually listening on a podcast, this might be a little boring, but do you think the people who run NAMM are capable of reshaping it into something useful with a future? Or do you think they will try to keep on going until it dies a slow death? I think that if they let old people run it, it will die. I think if they let young people run it, it will not. I think that people in the music industry in general are too idealistic about what they want the music industry to look like, because that's the way it was when they were a kid, as they like fluff their mullet and jump into their newly restored iRock Z. I really feel like if you just let music progress, and this goes for everybody, it will be better. How we make music, the tools that we use to make music will change. But if you continue to tell a group of people that their music is not real, or that's not good music, or whatever, you're just killing somebody's creativity, which is inherently the most important part. So if I say, I'm not going to play acoustic drums on this next record, I'm going to bang these two sticks together, or I'm going to make this squeaky hinge in my bathroom a sound effect on a track, instead of, it doesn't matter where the music comes from. It doesn't matter what you do to make the sounds. It doesn't matter that a guy will take a $200 Telecaster and plug it into some stuff and make some crazy wacky sounds. He's still playing guitar. And I think if we continue to force feed classic rock and the old way of doing things to people that don't want to hear it, that's the way you kill it. And I think if you allow it to grow into whatever the next thing is going to be, what do you think the next thing is going to be? Whatever you let it be and encourage it to be, then that's what it will be. But if you're like, no, you're doing it wrong the entire frigging time, like YouTube comments and Facebook groups and all that stuff, then people will just quit. You're just discouraging people from doing anything at all because everyone's doing it wrong. So if you just allow things to grow into the next thing, it will be amazing. iRock Z is a badass car if you like rattles in a kind of a slow engine. No, I would actually have an iRock Z if it was car number like 6. It would be on my short list. Doc, haha, mullet and an iRock Z, my big hair days. You still have big hair, but you also drive a real car now. I only say that because I drive one too. Let's not be musical. Get off my lawn, guys. Exactly. Old man yelling at cloud is annoying. It's just annoying. So just listen to your kids' music. Like, do you listen to your kids and your grandkids' music? You should. You definitely should. And encourage them to listen to music, whatever it is. Well, I can't stand that crap because it doesn't have leather pants and a mullet, and it doesn't have a fluorescent pink Kramer, and it doesn't have a Les Paul, and it doesn't have a, okay, whatever. I just think the next generation has to take over. What is the most significant innovation? I think digital amps right now, the two things I think right now are the way modeling has progressed in the last 2 or 3 years, and Fishman Fluence pickups. To me, the most innovative thing, because I'm a pickup guy, is Fishman Fluence pickups. Those things are cool, man. And the way they're made and how they work is really, really, really neat. I don't know the potential for them. I don't know how they could be used in some other technology. But I think, on the digital side, anything with a Shark processor in it is like, wow, this is amazing. Yeah, I think it's really cool. It's a really cool thing. I want a Chevy Nova. That's so funny. That's really funny. Yeah, somebody was asking if I've heard a particular artist. I have not heard of them, but I will tell you that one of the things that I do is I will start with a very modern song, like a Polyphia song, for example, on Apple Music, and then I will just let it go and let Apple Music just play whatever new modern thing it is. Do I like them all? No, but every time I do it, do I discover something that's cool? Yes. You know what I mean? Like, and just allow yourself to just, go and just allow yourself to discover new things. I think that's really cool. Because you've never owned a Judge. Yeah, I'm a GTO guy, to be honest with you. But classic cars are cool when it's not raining, when the weather's good, when, you don't actually have to be anywhere, when you don't actually have to be comfortable, when it's between 67 and 73 degrees outside. You have to have like a very narrow window. It's like a vintage guitar. It's the same thing. Like, if the weather's good, if it's a good one, if it doesn't actually suck, because a lot of them suck, you know, if there's no danger around, if there's no little kids around, like, you have a decent amp, then a vintage guitar is cool. Same thing. It's the same exact thing. If all you're going to do is look at it, classic cars are awesome. The rest of the time, give me something modern with some actual horsepower. My regular car makes more horsepower than, well, it's not regular, but my normal daily driver makes more horsepower than the fastest GTO ever made. So, and it gets better gas mileage, and it's more comfortable, and it has heated seats. And I know that a lot of people feel that I'm very irreverent to vintage instruments and etc., but it's whatever. Dylan, is there such a thing as a P90 cover that looks like your Enduro cover, but in a regular P90 size? Yeah, we could do that. I have these style rings. Hang on one second. We could do a P90 that looks very much like this, but only in a P90 cover. Maybe I'll just do a short run of them and let you do them. Maybe we'll add them to the website. It's upside down. Maybe I'll add them to the website and we'll let you buy them. Heated seats in Georgia? Dude, it was like 27 degrees here last week. Yeah, we can't even plan anything before Masters Week, which this is Masters Week. That's the rule. You can just put a V8 or a V10 in the new. Dude, I have a turbo V6 that makes 400 horsepower and goes 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds. I mean, it's bonkers. And it has a sunroof. Yep. My SUV has more horsepower than a Mustang GT back in our days. And actually, Dastardly Dave doesn't even have a really fast SUV, but it's faster than anything back then. The only thing is stuff is heavier now. So power to weight ratio is a thing, but like my car's not heavier than an old car. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, so we'll put together a little short run of those things. I think that would be kind of fun. Thin Lizzy is criminally underrated. That is totally true. That is totally true. Yeah, I just like the whole notion of trying it a new way. I heard something today, and again, this is getting way off. I think it was like a Buddhist monk saying or philosophy, and I really like it. And it was that embrace uncertainty, because then you don't know what the possibility, you then only then can you like realize the possibility, if that makes sense. Including things that are better than they were before. And I was like, wow, that is really, really powerful to think about. Like, and I'm, being self-employed, that's a thing that you constantly have to think about. When you decide to not go to NAMM, when you decide to, okay, we're going to go to Denver again. Is it too expensive? Is it actually cost effective? Is it good for the business? All these various things, because you're self-employed and you only have, only so much time in the day is probably the most important part. And you're like, I could just stay home and make pickups. No, I want to do this. I want to network, all those things. And you're like, embrace the uncertainty, like, so that you can realize the possibility of things that could be better. And I was like, whoa, that's like huge. Like, it made me really think about that today. I know we're getting really off a woo here today, but, kind of fun things to think about. Meanwhile, everybody's talking about mullet rock in the comments. Yeah. Stuff's a lot safer now too, huh? Let's see. I was having issues with frame rate. Oh, you guys are talking about 4K stuff. Talking about video. Fortunately, I've gotten kind of over the whole buying camera stuff. I'm kind of got everything I need now, so I haven't really been buying stuff. But I did get a new knife. This is this is the ProTech Newport. So it's kind of like a slim dude. And it's an automatic, of course. So, yeah. Just got that one last week. Anyway, if we got any more guitar questions, we got time. I don't really have, that's all. I was just going to rant about that for a little bit today. So I didn't really have tons of things to chat about today, because we've been super busy. We literally sat down from yeah, but I would, yeah, we're just working hard on getting caught up. We made a bunch of P90s today. I don't know if you saw on Instagram, but we shipped like, I don't know how many orders today. We're going to be shipping a bunch more tomorrow. And continue. Let's see. We caught up with last week without your Dylan and Leslie live together. Yeah, it's weird doing those without her, but I sure like hanging out with those Texas Toast guys. They're really fun. And Matt is a really cool dude. Have you checked out the Fox Karambit? I'm not a Karambit guy. I've seen it, but I'm not really a Fox Karambit guy. Jim, you're still no new gear since January? That's crazy talk. I don't even know how. That's nuts. Excited about getting a P90 from you. Cool. Yeah, we're going through. I think right now we have 30 more to make this week. We made 15 today, I think. So we're trying to get through it. I am also working on. I need to work on a video. Well, I got like a bunch of videos to work on actually, but how much do your P90s go for, Dylan? You just go to DylanTalksTone.com. All of our stuff is right there. The latest pricing is there. DylanTalksTone.com. That's how you find out how much our stuff is. We constantly get emails from people saying, hey, I saw you on YouTube. How much is it for this pickup? And you just go to the website and you can put it in your cart and you can see. It's easier that way than anything else because a lot of that stuff is, I'm not saying it changes, but like depending on where you live, the shipping changes and all that stuff. So, how do you feel about guitar companies selling direct? I think that's an interesting one. I think it's just like any other business. I think that a consumer should have all of the options available to him. That being said, I'm not in any dealers and I won't be, but I understand where a dealer might think that it is bad that the guitar company sells direct. It's bad for the dealer. However, a lot of dealers suck. So I believe that it is incumbent on the dealer to be better at what they do to retain their business. If I have a relationship with a local dealer of anything, whether it be knives, bicycles, anything like that, I'm going to go to that local dealer. I'm going to support that person because I want to support that person. So if you are a local dealer of anything, it doesn't matter if it's paper plates or paper clips or knives or flashlight batteries. If you want to not lose out to Amazon, again, social content, connect with your audience, the same exact thing we were talking about earlier, and you will survive. Because you will build a relationship with the people that will continue to want that relationship with you. The thing is that there are some people who don't want that relationship, who don't care about that relationship, or you might suck. You might be in a town and you might suck, and people might be like, you know what, screw it, I am gonna order direct. So, I think it's a case by case thing. I think it's important for all guitar companies to sell direct, or I like the whole store idea. I like that they each have like if Gibson has the Gibson garage, Fender has the thing in Japan. I'd love to see PRS do the same thing because I think it's really important also for each brand to create a standard for how they want their products represented. You've gone into many, many guitar stores, and some of them are like, oh, those guitars are hung over there behind that other thing, and oh, I have to go find one and dig it out for you. And then some of them you go in there and it's like, oh, like you walked into like a temple. So the fact that Gibson is like, this is what we want it to look like when you walk into a guitar store, I think that's really smart for the brand. You have to understand, the brand is more important than anything. Everything relates back to the brand. Everything. Whether that's the quality of the guitar, the sound of the guitar, merchandise, how it looks in the store, all those things go back to the brand. And I think it's way more important. You couldn't find Jag pickups. I don't know if I have Jag pickups. I mean, I do. I could make you some. I think they would be Jag pickups. I think would be one. Oh, come on. For some reason, my phone started ringing. Let's see. I think we have Jag pickups on the website. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure we do. And if we don't, I'll rectify that very quickly because we do have the stuff to make them. I just don't know why they wouldn't be on there. I will check into that and I will post a thing on Instagram once that is complete. Because I don't see why we would not have Jag pickups actually. Yeah, we could do that for sure. No new gear. Excellent. You guys, do you have a high output humbucker available on your website? Yes, Super 8s. I would go for Super 8s. Those are the new hotness, and I really, really like them a lot. Guitar companies. Trying to go through, see if we missed any questions, but I don't think we did. Jag pickups aren't the same as a Strat. No, they are not, actually. They have completely different flat work. They are a different shape. You can make them very similar in dimension and magnet strength and all that stuff, but they are completely different shape. They bolt into the guitar differently. Yeah, they're different for sure. Yeah, the wires come out on a different spot and the whole deal. Yeah, because they have Jag pickups have that metal claw on them, and so the wires can't come out of the middle of the bottom. They come out of the end. So that makes the flat work and where the little brass eyes and stuff all different. And they don't have a bump. They're straight. They don't have a... I actually use Jag flat work to make my PRS Silver Sky pickups, because PRS Silver Skies and Fiores have different shaped pickups in them, but I use Jag flat work to make them. Yeah, pretty neat. I had a question about putting covers on wax potted humbuckers. Would you need to repot them? Typically, yeah, otherwise they'll make noise. But if there's enough wax in there, you know what you can do is just like take a candle and just like shred off a bunch of candle wax on top of the pickup, then put the cover on it and heat it up with a heat gun and just like squish it down on there. And that should do it. The other thing you could do is put a couple layers of tape, like blue tape, on top of the pickup and then put the cover on, and that might act as a dampener enough to where it does not squeal or anything like that. I have a Gibson USA pickup with a 14.1. What do you think that came out of? Probably late 2000s studio something. Maybe like a 490T or a 500T or a... I don't know. Something like that, I would say. Yeah, cool. Well, thanks everybody for coming and hanging out, just chatting. And like I said, I didn't have a whole bunch today, but I think we were able to chat up some pretty cool stuff, share some pretty cool stuff. And thanks for that. We are going to be coming out with guitar gear news tomorrow at 4 p.m. I got to get up in the morning and look at all the latest stuff and shoot the latest thing. That's what we do. I try to shoot it and edit it and upload it as quickly as possible so we get the latest thing that we think might be out there. So that's pretty cool. So thanks for hanging out, y'all, and we will see you tomorrow.